Hello and welcome to the Movie Bunker Podcast. It's me, Matt.
Hey, it's me, Chris.
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Hey. We're in lockdown. Yeah.
It was initially interesting and fun and new and unique, and now it's just a bit like, I just want to go outside and hug a random person. Yeah. I don't want to do that. I never wanted to do that ever. But
Well, to put it into perspective a little bit, what week are we in now in terms of lockdown in the UK currently? Is it week 6 or week 5?
We're in...
Or less than that?
God knows. I have no idea anymore.
Okay, we're well into it, aren't we? I mean, we're talking about potentially going back to work in the next 2 or 3 weeks as we record this podcast. It's the 27th of April, so yeah, we've been in lockdown for numerous weeks, and it is cray, isn't it? As the youth say. We do this normally anyway, but it means these things are a little bit more interesting because if you're not speaking to people like work colleagues or just normal people, then these sort of things have a little bit more. What's the word? Just a bit more enjoyable.
We've probably lost listeners because everyone's out there making their own podcasts. Amazon have run out of podcast mics. iTunes hit 1 million episodes, not 1 million episodes, 1 million different shows.
Oh wow!
This last week, so yeah, there's certainly something for everybody out there to fill their time with.
Actually, it's a good time to say hello to our new listeners because if anything, we've gained some nice new listeners in the lockdown.
Yeah, we've gained a little chunk.
Yeah, it's been nice. That's really nice. And let's say hello to everybody out there who's tuning in for the sort of first time. Well, what do we do on the podcast for those who are brand spanking new?
Well, on this podcast, what we do is we take the lowest rated films that we can find and justifiably argue that haven't been reviewed well, and we have a little chat about them, and we try and find the good things from them and see if the reviewers are ever wrong, and occasionally we get some guests along to throw their own opinion into the ring. In fact, there's been a lot of guests recently, to be fair. Yeah,
we've had some fantastic guests, and sort of guests now starting to just join in on rubbish movies with us as opposed to finding movies that they like that maybe their peers didn't. And just joining in to try and find good things. I mean, if we were to rename the podcast, we would call it Can't Be That Bad, Can It? That would be kind of, that's our goal, is to look at, as you say, the worst ones and try and find the good stuff out of them.
Or we could rename it, this is going to be the one. This one. This is the one that's going to buck the trend.
And this movie that we're doing today, Master of Disguise, is, I think, up there, I think, in all the podcast life span of two years nearly, I'd say this is the worst, I have to say, the worst film I have ever seen. And
I think it might be the worst rated as well, because it's 3.3 on IMDb. And I don't think we've done any lower than that.
No, this was a gift way back in Christmas from one of our long-term listeners.
That's a very tenuous way of referring to it.
Yeah, Darren's gave us a gift, and we finally got around to watching it. And here's the trailer.
In a place of mystery, in a world of magic, one family's extraordinary power to change their appearance will be left in the hands of one man.
Oh, yes, I give it cheese. Nice, you like? Oh, yes, you like it cheese. Papa.
Now, to solve the mystery,
it is time for you to find your mother and your father.
This simple waiter must become much more.
Now I can teach you to become a master of disguise.
Really? I'm going to be a master of disguise. I'm going to be a master of disguise. I'm going to be a...
This summer...
Your training begins now. Prepare to make the change.
You are a fatty. What is happening? Ah! Save me! Save me! Ah! Sorry, Grandpa!
He will need a partner.
Assistants commonly fall in love with their disguising masters. Can you resist, Pistachio?
Can you resist me?
I'll give it a shot.
He will need practice.
Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Now you try.
Who is your daddy?
And a whole lot of patience.
You got a little tomato soup with a crouton?
No.
You got some Neapolitan ice cream, you know, you got the vanilla chocolate strawberry. One of the greatest things ever invented. and you don't got it.
Dana Carvey.
I am Prince Lalejama.
Suave, Terry Suave.
Are you a member of the Turtle Club?
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club? Time to go into my shell.
No.
Where'd he go?
The master of disguise.
I think it's time for you to go.
This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do.
Did you just tell me to shut up?
Yes.
So
That was probably the best bits of it, to be fair.
oh no, the trailer's fucking awful. I've got to say, it's probably going to be a
I
very...
know, and that's the best bits.
This is going to be the sweariest podcast ever because I'm fuming. I thought, well, how bad can it be? And
Yeah,
I've got to say, I don't know what you feel about it. It's fucking awful, and there's nothing redeemable about this in any way, shape, or form. We'll do the basics, okay? Because
Let's do the basics.
Let's do the basics. So,
venting.
Master of Disguise 2002 Adventure.
I can't believe it was this late when I put this on because I actually had the DVD. You had to buy it.
Very cheap.
And the DVD actually worked, and I was happy with that. And yeah, I thought this was like a 1995, 96 film tops, but 2002.
Yeah, adventure comedy it is. It's basically it's a vehicle, isn't it, for this the second half of Wayne's World, Dana Carvey. I'll do the plops first, which is very short and sweet. An Italian waiter fights off a criminal mastermind with his inherited powers of disguise. Okay. Now, Dana Carvey wrote this and he stars in it. It's very much his thing. It's directed by Perry Andlin Blake.
He's a friend of the show, is Mr. Perry Andlin Blake.
Is he?
And I think this is going to be the first time we've had a podcast where we're either referring to an actor or director that has featured on so many of our podcasts already, right? So
yeah,
to go through his career, it's basically all of the Adam Sandler films, which means there's a lot of shit in here.
So it's Happy Gilmore, isn't it?
Yeah, he did Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. So he started strong, to be fair. You know, The Wedding Singer, love The Wedding Singer. The Waterboy, not so great. Then it starts to go downhill. Yeah, Paul Blart Mall Cop and Jack and Jill have both been on the podcast, as well as this one. Reading down his list, there are about 8 films here that we could easily do. So they got Paul
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. The Ridiculous 6, easily we could do. Here Comes the Boom, I've considered doing that. Grown Ups, that was debatable. Some people love that film, and I can't see it myself. Don't Mess with the Zohan, we could do that. Click, we could do that.
So Adam Sandler, basically.
Yeah, well, it's weird because Adam Sandler's just like in amongst all these. It's occasionally the good films, especially his serious work. And The Longest Yard. I quite like The Longest Yard. That's not a bad film.
It's hit and miss, but mainly miss.
Mainly miss, yeah. When he misses big.
And he's missed a hell of a lot of misses here. So the cast, okay. So Dana Carvey, he plays the son Pistachio Disguisey. Now,
even the name's annoying.
He's the son of Fabrizio Disguisey, and who is then the grandfather. That's got 3 main characters. Is grandfather Disguisey, both played by Harold Gould and James Brolin. You've got a love interest there to start with. It eventually does develop into a very strange love interest with Jennifer Esposito, who plays Jennifer Baker. Now, she's been in a few bits and pieces. She's been in another film which is called 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So she can act, and she doesn't do too badly in this movie. To be honest, I feel incredibly sorry for everybody. And I mean, this is a case of one of those situations where I think no one said no to Dana Carvey. No one said, actually, hang on, this isn't funny. No one, it's like the Emperor's Clothes, if I want to say, or something like that. Where he's wandering around doing this thing, and no one's thought to stop and say, "What the fuck am I doing in this film?" Brent Spiner is in it as well.
Yeah, is James Brolin Josh Brolin's dad?
Wow, I think he might be. They look incredibly similar, don't they?
Yeah, and they got the same name.
Yeah. Is it Brent Spiner or Brent Spinner?
Spinner.
Spinner, who plays the evil guy, Devlin Bowman. Yeah, Data from Star Trek. Who's looking like he wishes he could just basically be swallowed up by a hole or be killed instantly. Yeah, so cast-wise, there's talent on screen. I think there are people there that could potentially make a movie. It doesn't suck. Keenan from Keenan and Kel's in this. There's other cameos.
Yeah, but he's in it like for about 2 seconds. There's cameos from Bo Derek and the singer that used to be a singer. Jessica
Simpson's in it. There's the guy from Predators in it. He's a congressman as well, isn't he?
Jesse Ventura.
Yeah. And is it one of the runners?
Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson's in it. Yeah. Who's on my Couch to 5K app? Rating wise, I wanted to touch on the rating because we said it was like the lowest. I mean, on IMDb, this is a 3.3 out of 10, which is fucking low. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's 1%. Even the audience score is 33%. What was, movie 43.
Movie 43. How much was movie 43?
Oh,
that's
God.
got to be close. I just want to know if this is the lowest of the low. Well, movie 43, 4.3. So yeah, it's a whole point better.
I'm going to just give a little bit of a plot synopsis. I know we've given like the main plot, but essentially, Dana Carvey stars as an Italian waiter who works for his family sort of restaurant, where his dad, the Disguises, the family name, they are blessed with the ability to be able to disguise themselves and mimic themselves with like precision and finesse. And
but it's not consistent, is it? That's my problem with it. And I know that sounds stupid in a film like this, right? Because both his dad and his granddad, when they disguise themselves, right, they look like the people, right? They're not the same. Like, you know, Jessica Simpson is not just a man in a wig; it's just Jessica Simpson. When Dana Carvey's Pistachio disguises himself, it's just him
dressed up.
Voice. Yeah.
Is it because he's still a rookie or he's still learning the ropes? Maybe.
Oh yeah, maybe they could argue that he's because he's a rookie still. He's not fully mastered the ability to wear a mask.
But Brent Spiner plays like a Spinner. Sorry, Brent Spinner plays the crook who's sent to prison or caught by Pistachio's dad, because it basically rumbles him and stuff. And so when he gets out of jail, he seeks revenge and he holds them. He kidnaps them, basically, his dad and his mum. And then it's Dana Carvey or Pistachio's job. Then basically, Harold Gold, who plays the grandfather disguise, he turns up as some sort of like Obi-Wan Kenobi character to say, right, it's in you, you're a disguisee, and I'm going to teach you the ways of the disguisee, right? Because there's loads of different things in there which kind of allude to like the mystical arts and shit.
Yeah, hold on, I'm making note of some of this stuff. So there's like their version of the Force is called the Energico. Okay. Energico is the ability to become someone else, I believe is the mantra that they cite, and then they do something horrible like blackface.
Oh God! Well, we'll talk a bit about some of the kind of offensive stuff a bit later on. But Pistachio doesn't just sort of dress up; he physically does a little chant and a mantra thing, and then he becomes the character that he can't. He basically, once he's in it, he can't control it. It needs to be kind of snapped out of it. So he's taught that very early on, that you just have to sort of believe that you are the Indian man, and then within a second, he is then a very xenophobic, stereotypical, racist Indian man, and then, or he's, as you say, black-faced in a way, or just incredibly weird. And the characters that he pulls off are shit. So you got Gammy Num Nums, which is this old lady, and then you've got he does like distinguished English gents. He does the turtle guy. I mean, we'll talk about the turtle guy a bit later on. I think can we just car park turtle guy. Right. Yeah. Okay. Because I might insert a clip of Turtle Guy in here, but a bit later on, because that in itself is nightmare-inducing. Because it's just
it's weird. Right. So my whole problem with this fucking film is that it's just incoherent and insane and. Like, there's no grounding in it, right? So you can have zany, wacky comedies, and it's fine. You have, like, the straight line, something to pitch them against, sort of thing. But the problem is that no one around this character is sort of pointing out there's no straight person. Like Jennifer Esposito's character kind of tries to inhabit this sort of straight person role. And I really believe the reason she was called Jennifer in here is a character as well as her own name. Is I think she probably was just not acting at any point, because like all she does is stand next to Dana Carvey looking confused at what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that requires no acting at all for this film, because it doesn't make any sense. It's just a lot of the cutscenes don't seem to be connected in any way to each other. Like there's no actual plot, there's no grounding, there's no like comedy level of anything in this film. So
well, I agree, and I found every segment or set piece didn't necessarily relate at all to the story. It's like they threw away how to make a movie book. It's like it's not even filmmaking for dummies. It's just him saying, right, well, what characters can I do? What impressions am I known for on Saturday Night Live and stuff like that? Yeah. What can I insert that's fresh and new and all this sort of thing? And then just tries to find a way to connect the dots, I guess. And I wouldn't mind so much if it's like you talk about movie 43 for a second, because okay, all of that was bad, but there was a couple of scenes in it that I chuckled at, or that I found mildly amusing. There was segments of it that were okay, whereas this, every single character, everything, every single line of dialogue, every set piece, everything was just god awful, to the fact where it's thinking this cannot be a 2004 movie. And you can see what he's trying to do. You can see he's trying to like emulate Mike Myers in a way that, like, can this be a start of a franchise? Am I going to get like a franchise off this, like, Austin Powers or Shrek or whatever?
But the Austin Powers thing's a good thing. It's the same year that this came out, because when we was watching this, my wife was sort of like, what else came out in that year to give me some sort of grounding? Is like, is this 25 years old, 30 years old? Was it the same as a comedy around the time? So this came out the same year as the Austin Powers Gold Member. So the final, was the final one? Yeah, the last of the trilogy of Austin Powers film, which wasn't great, but because it was a bit of a swan song, I guess, because that kind of comedy was on the wane, really. So this is probably why this also doesn't land, because it's that same kind of wacky, zany comedy. But the Austin Powers thing, because it had that fish out of water, that the guy that used to be cool and of a place, they have that sort of scene setting where they have him initially in the 70s, and everything that he does and is normal there, and everything around him is as vibrant and as large as he is. So when he's pulled out of that and he's acting the same way, it kind of makes sense.
Absolutely, completely.
So, but then this had the exact opposite. Like in the credits for this film, they have like a bunch of sort of like gag reels, bloopers, and sort of cutscenes. It's indistinguishable from the actual film itself. Yeah, in the sense that it's just cut together bullshit that doesn't make any sense.
And there's a lot of characters in that credit scene, which I kind of noticed as well, that weren't actually in the movie. So I don't know if I watched a different cut to you, but there's a big segment of a character that is shown in like the outtakes and stuff, and that doesn't.
Yeah, like a toy guy.
Yeah.
He sounds like King Candy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there's all the things where he gets the cast to dance. It's look like they're having a great time. He's got there's lots of musical numbers in this, or musicians doing like a theme tune. I noticed there's like 4 different Master of Disguise songs in different genres that play throughout the movie.
Oh God!
Let's just talk about Pistachio for a second, because how he's pitched the character. So he's not cool, right? He's not cool. He's not clever, really. He comes across as being a bit creepy. He's trying to be like, I guess his heart's in the right place. He's shown kindness to people and stuff like that, which could be applauded nowadays. Yeah, there's not enough kindness in movies, and I think, if anything, Pistachio is a kind guy, if he's not completely fucking creepy at the same time. But at one point, Jennifer Esposito refers to him, and this is offensive, so I do apologise, as an absurd, spastic little man. And I had to write that down. That is an actual line of dialogue that they've used in 2004. Now, I don't know. I know America are a little bit behind us in terms of the frames and terminologies that they can use in films regarding, mental illness or anything like that. But to refer to someone as a spastic in 2004, or any time really,
2002,
2002. Sorry, is this? It's fucking awful.
Yeah, I made 3 notes, and the use of the word spastic was one of the notes that I made.
Yeah, and the offensiveness of it as well. In terms of the blackface with as soon as you did the Indian man, I was like, "What are you doing?" It's like no, just no. I mean, no one said don't do the Indian guy. Just don't do it. Let's talk about Turtle Guy.
I don't mean to keep harping, but the name the Turtle Club, it's just a name. I think you're taking it a little bit too literally.
Turtle? May I help you? Are you a member of the Turtle Club?
Well, not exactly.
Not exactly, but am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Is he okay?
He's fine.
He's fine, Turtle. Turtle.
He's dreamt of this place ever since he was a child.
Turtle.
Do you think we can go in for a moment? We'll be out in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
All right.
Turtle. Turtle. Not turtle?
No.
Turtle?
No?
Not turtle.
No.
So kind of Turtle Guy is the first time we see Disguisey in a disguise, right? So
yeah.
They got to infiltrate. They got their first clue about the location of his father and mother, which is this cigar, which comes from the Turtle Club. So he goes to the Turtle Club, says, "Hey, we'll go to the Turtle Club." And because he is an idiot, he dresses as a kind of turtle, but with like a quite a realistically turtly kind of face, right?
Well, yeah. Imagine putting a skull cap on, pointing your face out, like your chin to make like a turtly face, and then putting a big turtle suit on with a tie or a bow tie or something, thinking he's infiltrating the Turtle Club dressed as a turtle. Right?
Yeah.
And his main thing, all he says is turtle, 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 turtle. That's all he does.
Yeah.
But then when he gets picked on by some sort of guys, regulars at the Turtle Club, he disappears into his turtle shell or back into his outfit, pops out, and he bites one of their noses off. Yeah. But not in like a. There's no blood or nothing. There's no like real. It's not. But
he erases his nose.
He erases his. Yeah. So he erases his nose. So the special effects team then go in afterwards, and they just basically give this man no nose, and then he spits it back. And then the nose just reappears.
What's wrong with
that? What fucking planet are we on here?
Yeah. There's
can't even say anything.
No. I was aghast and as weirded out as you. Just like, what the actual fuck? That's the point when you realise that somebody should have just gone to Dana Carvey and gone, Dana, no. I mean, we can do it, but just no, we're not doing that. It doesn't make any sense. This guy's not magical. He's not done any of these kind of powersy things before. Yeah. How the fuck do you explain the fact that he's bitten off someone's nose and then spitted it back on his face again? And no one says anything.
Yeah.
And later on, Jennifer Esposito falls in love with this fucking prick.
Yeah.
She's seen him bite a man's nose off and spit it back onto his face.
He does a really bad Al Pacino impersonation as well, doesn't he?
He was quite famous for doing Al Pacino impressions, I think. Things.
But it was just quite, apt because it was Al Pacino's 80th birthday.
The Jaws impression was all right.
Was it? Was he Scottish though? That guy then?
No. No.
Oh, because he sounded like he was doing like a Scottish accent.
Well, he's Irish, isn't he?
Oh, is it? Okay, it's Irish. That makes sense. I didn't know. I could never pinpoint the accent in the original movie.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it does the Dolai sort of kind of talk, and it's not a bad impression. I guess that's the thing that I got out of that is. But again, in the whole scheme of things, it makes no fucking sense. Where they chase this guy, and then all of a sudden they come across him doing this impression. It's just like an excuse. I think I remember one of the fucking trivia was that he wanted to write in being a film that his family could see, and I think they've got that wrong. So he wanted to be in a film that his kids could see because all his other films were too adult. And I think what the line should read is that he got his kids to write a film, and he then did that film, because that's the only thing I can think.
Yeah,
is that his children wrote this film.
God, I mean, that would make sense if a 4-year-old put a pen to paper. I mean, yeah.
But like when your children give you a picture and you have to put it on the fridge, you're kind of waiting for the time that you can just take that down and put it in the bin and move on with your life, because you don't really want it on your fridge. It was nice they gave it to you. It's a shit picture. This is exactly that. It's like his kids wrote this film for him and he's put it on the fridge and he's just waiting for an appropriate time to take it down and put it in the bin.
This is why I'm surprised that I've not heard about, until like I was given the movie as a gift, which is in itself a strange thing to say. And before maybe I was prepped with I think we showed a clip of at least the turtle guy on one of our social media pages, like maybe a year ago over that, just to say, oh, crikey, this is one for the future. I had never heard of this. And considering I was watching those kind of movies and I was a big fan of Wayne's World and, I was well aware of all this kind of stuff. And it was big at the time, this kind of genre of movie. I'm really surprised. I'd never heard of this.
No, but there was a big gap. I didn't realize, because I had a quick look. So let me just quickly scroll through, because this basically killed his career, right? He was done this and then didn't really do anything else. So Wayne's World 2 was 1993.
Christ.
So that was 9 years before this came out. So between Wayne's World 2 and this film, he did a couple of TV slots. He was George Kellogg in The Road to Wellville. The Shot. He was in, I suppose he had to put one vehicle, 96, but there's a big gap then till he had a sort of cameo part in Little Nicky. And then there was this film in 2002. And then he didn't come back again then really to do film until Jack and Jill. So Jesus Christ.
Well, I didn't remember him in Jack and Jill. What did he play in that?
He was the scrappily puppeteer.
Oh, well, fucking hell. I'm not rewatching that just for that.
I'm not rewatching it just for that. And he's been a voice in Hotel Transylvania 2 and The Secret Life of Pets. But like, I was the same as you. I was like, man, he was in Wayne's World 2 and stuff. And why didn't I see this? And,
he was weak in that, to be honest. I mean, Garth wasn't a very good character, wasn't he? He was a bit of a twat.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Devlin Bowman, Brent Spinner?
Yeah.
Right, I've got that right there. His little funny thing that they try to give it is when he does his evil laugh, he does a fart.
I want you to drop your pizza apron, become a master of disguise once again, and help me obtain the world's rarest treasures.
You're a sick man, Bowman.
I had a question. Was it him farting, or was it Fabrizio Disguisi farting?
No, it's him. It's him, because at the end he laughs at the end, thinking, and he sort of is surprised that he doesn't fart, and then goes, "Oh," but then does.
But then, or was he just surprised that Fabrizio hasn't farted, and he's like, "Oh, he didn't fart this time."
No, but then he does.
I like to think that it was the other guy farting. That's just his only way of just sort of shutting up his maniacal laugh.
And then he looks like disappointed in himself that he's done it.
I can taste it. That, to be fair, was probably the funniest thing in the film.
You enjoyed that, did you?
No, it's just the funniest thing in this film, and it's just like, okay, well, a fart is funny.
Yeah, I think a misplaced or a cheeky fart. Okay, I mean, I think because it's him, because it's Brent, and I like him.
Yeah.
I kind of felt really sorry for him. I felt really sorry for, as I say, Jennifer Esposito, and Harold.
Although Jennifer Esposito was also featured previously in the podcast because she was in Dracula 2000, where she was this kind of vivacious vampire.
Yeah, but Harold Gould, who's the grandfather Disguisey. I mean. I don't know if he's alive or anymore. I mean, I hope he is.
I find myself cringing every time you say a name because it's just like
it's grandfather Disguisey.
Just Disguisey. It's like, come on, you could at least thought about it for more than 5 minutes at a time.
This movie, right?
Disguisey.
is $2.99 on YouTube to rent. Okay?
They're all $2.99.
Okay, well, this one in standard definition, it's $2.99 to rent. So,
is there a HD version?
Yes, which is $3.99. So the $2.99 version is available on YouTube, and I would say regular listeners to the podcast that are invest in this podcast and are interested to know and to find out about these films that we give them every week. I would strongly suggest, just out of morbid curiosity, right? Or I don't strongly suggest. I would say, right, if you're on lockdown, spend £2.99 of your hard-earned cash just to sit and witness the absolute fuckadoodle-dally shittiness, right, of this disaster committed to celluloid, because this is the podcast in a nutshell without finding anything good about it. This is the worst, the lowest of the low. The bar is not even set. It's on the ground. It's fucking through the Earth's crust. It's in the middle of it's out the other end.
I'll go one better than that. I'll say, right, if someone responds, when we put this episode out on Twitter, we have put this episode out on Twitter, if someone responds with a comment, any kind of comment on there, if we get more than one, I'll have to do some kind of draw. I'll send them the DVD we got. I will re-gift it.
We will re-gift the DVD. Actually, I will tell you
break
what.
Lockdown rules, and I will send them.
I know. I've got an even better idea, Matthew. That's the start of it. Okay, so our listeners then become. We will share the DVD around our listeners. So it's your then job to watch it and then pass it on. So we basically need to get some sort of thing going where we pass the DVD on to the next person.
Yeah,
it's all about trust.
Of each DVD.
You got to be holding the DVD with and watching it, and then give us your rating. Well, we know what your rating is going to be. Well, you might like it, and if you like it, well, fair play. But
I don't care where you live in the world. If you have some form of postal service, I will get you this DVD.
Yeah, and then, but on the caveat is you then have to pay for the postage. You then have to
send it.
We're not cheap. Do it. I don't know, recorded delivery. I think it's about £3.50. But anyway, did it make any money though?
Yeah, there's a guess, right? It's a quiz time. Total quiz time. Total quiz time. Total quiz time. How much do you think this film cost to make?
Well, I'm not even looking at it. So without looking at it, I'd say...
Well, yeah, obviously, because if you look at it, it's not a fucking question, is it?
It's cheating. I'm not looking at it. Well, I was going to say the production values aren't bad, if anything. It's actually... all right, okay. The production values are okay. So by that rationale, I'd say it was probably around, I don't know, the 60 million?
60?
Yeah.
Fuck off. What are you
No, 6...
That's a sci-fi spectacular.
Sorry, no, I'm thinking about 20. No, I'm thinking less than that. I'm thinking about 16.
It's exactly 16.
Did it make
that
any
pissed
money?
on my fire. Yeah, it actually did.
No.
It made 40 million in the US and then worldwide 43 million because no one else really liked Dana Carvey at that point. So yeah, it made money. It made money. And it's a runtime of 80 minutes as well. So you're not even, like, when you buy your cinema ticket, you don't even get a lot for your money, but you would have been grateful, really grateful that this was a short film.
But I think 20 minutes of that are the closing credits with all that fucking Tom.
Did you watch it to the very, very, very end of the credits?
Oh yeah,
it just keeps going.
Well, what happens at the very end is fucking some sort of weird, even weirder. The slap guy. So we get all this montage of credits, and he does more impressions. He does the gladiator. He does other people. He pulls out,
which is awful, by the way. That gladiator impression,
and he just brings out all sorts of other shit for the closing credits. And then he does all the way through the film. He's got like a training robot thing, which is made of wood, that are called the slap guy, which he slaps and it slaps him back. But it's also got a computer voice, even though it's clearly made out of wood. And right at the end, he's clearing the tables down, and then he notices that it's not making any noise. He goes up to it and he opens the back up, and there's a tiny guy inside, like a dwarf person.
But my
inside.
problem was he's facing the wrong fucking way.
Yeah.
Like if you're a dwarf controlling a robot, You want to be facing where the face is, right? So that you can...
Doesn't he turn him round, though? Doesn't he turn him round and open the back up?
I think he's just there. Because he's also dressed like Mario, right?
He's dressed like Mario, yes.
Well, he's got like blue dungarees and a red top on.
And a little hat.
Has he got a hat? And a curly moustache.
Yeah, so he picks him out. He goes, hello, little man. What are you doing in there? And he just goes, me slappy. And then slaps him. And then they have a little chase up and down the street. Yep. And then they sit together at the end and have a drink together. And he does that whole shitty thing that people do. They go, hey, what are you still doing here? The movie's over. Go back home, sort of thing. As if everyone's fucking sat there watching this drivel. And then the lights go down.
£40 million on it.
And the lights go down. The little man goes, hey, I'm sad. Why are you sad? I wanted to say goodbye. And then the lights go back up and he goes, bye-bye. It's like...
And then there's a dog. Was the dog dead?
Oh, my God. And then there's another thing with the fucking dog, yeah.
The dog just rolls over. It's weird.
They've got there's a little dog companion as well called like Mr. Cute Face or something like that. It's fucking shit.
Cutie pie.
Okay, we're going to wrap this up in a nice little shitty bow, okay?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say the one thing before we move on to the reviews and stuff, the one thing I can take from this, the one thing is the production values show the money. There is the costumes are okay. The sets look absolutely reasonable. Sorry, for a 2002 movie. So it's fine in that respect. The rest of it, dog shite.
The only thing that was good about this film is that I realised that James Brolin was Josh Brolin's dad. That's it.
Fair point. So it's the reviews time.
It's reviews. Well, it's been a while since you've done these.
I know.
The best impression ever.
Hey, come on, guys. This movie is great. It has about a dozen moments that would make you laugh to death. Dana Carvey is a fantastic comedian. He does a lot of impressions in the pitch that make it the movie worth of a higher grade. About 7, I'd say. He's given this 10 out of 10. The scene from Jaws almost made me laugh to death.
So he's laughed to death twice already.
Also, the actress that shares the screen with Dana Carvey, as well as Brent, Mr. Data Spinner, made a good supporting crew. I believe most people thought this should be more serious, more intellectual.
I love the way he's misspelled intellectual as well.
It's just simple and good jokes. Come on, you guys. Should evaluate this movie better. Funny, very funny movie.
Jeromba, 23rd of March 2004, 2 years after the film was made.
So give it a nice little chance to settle. My one's by Pummykin, 10 out of 10. Come on, guys, it's a kid movie, not 007. That's the title. I am disappointed in everyone who voted negatively against this movie. I hadn't seen it in the theater, but saw Dana Carvey on The View talking about it, so I rented it. See, I've done this for a while. He said he wrote it for 8-year-old kids. Come on, guys, it's awesome for that age group. In fact, my 4-year-old and 7-year-old loved it. They watched it 7 times in 5 days.
God. Oh, God.
Please don't take offense at this. I don't usually let them watch that TV much, but they really like it. So basically, he's apologizing for letting his kid watch that much amount of television. Who cares? My 4-year-old son still quotes Pistachio all the time and just laughs and laughs. He keeps saying, Mom, remember that part in Masters of the Skies? Masters of the Sky. Oh, because he can't say it properly. So all you people who are dissing this movie, just stop it. Go analyze dramas and thrillers and leave the great people who are making good kid movies alone.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until your fucking kid tries to bite your nose off and spit it back onto your face again.
Exactly. Would you show this movie to your kids?
I tried to because I had to watch it this afternoon. So I thought, well, I had a quick look, so it was a PG, and I thought to myself, I'll just whack it on. But they evacuated the room as soon as the title started going. They're like, nah, this isn't for us, Dad.
Well, I'd be absolutely mortified if my kids found this funny. Absolutely mortified, because it's inappropriate for one, and also, you know, there's bits in it which are a bit sort of. There's lots of like big bum jokes, especially ladies with big bottoms, and the fact that he finds them attractive.
One of the post-credit scenes, right? Is that they were trying they used 4 big bottom ladies to distract him.
Because his girlfriend, what she thought is his girlfriend, his love interest before the real one turns up, Jennifer, is got a massive bottom, and they actually obviously use prosthetics to make it look bigger. But he loves.
Or do they? I mean,
I don't know. Well, I think so, because it looks. Well, it doesn't look in proportion to the rest of her. And then there's a bit where he's walking down the street with the granddad, and they look at a lady crossing the road with a dog who's got a big bottom, and they go, ooh, la la. And then it turns around and it's a man. And then they basically...
The woman, not the dog, right?
Yeah. And they basically got ice creams. And that was weird as well. It's just weird placement of a pun about them, perving on a bottom, and then it being a man, and then basically them having their ice creams in their mouths, like... That's sticking out, the cones sticking out their mouths, going, oh, and then they'll say, what's funny about that? Please explain.
It's bizarre, but I'm with you on this. I think everyone should go out and enter the competition, for want of a better word, to win the DVD, and or if you aren't so lucky to win, just to fork out that $2.99 or. Find it somewhere else.
Yeah, rent it for $2.99, because it actually costs you the same amount of money if you're going to do the competition is to send it to the next person. But yeah, if you want to, we'll do that. Just DM us on our Twitter handle, and we'll contact you. One of us will contact you, and we'll get your details, and we'll send it to you. And then we'll just on the premise that you send it back. Or you pass it on to the next person who wants to... Not send it
back. We don't want it fucking back.
Well, it's to go in our... It's to go in our collection, isn't it? It's to go back. It's got to go in the bunker, for fuck's sake.
Well, that's that then.
We can categorically say that's the worst movie we've done in the career of the podcast so far.
Yeah, of all the films that have meant to have been good or have sort of some redeeming feature, but I don't think we didn't manage to pull out a single one. So
no,
yeah, I think it is the worst film we've done.
It's the benchmark.
Just the wrong end of the bench.
Well, if you like I say, if you're new to the podcast and you like what you hear, leave a review. That would be fantastic. Rate us and follow us on social media. Just search for the Movie Bunker Podcast. Or go to the website, which is moviebunkerpodcast.com. And so next episode, I think we've got another chat or a bonus bunker episode or lockdown episode. And then we'll be back on the weekend. So
yeah, doing more films.
Yeah. Woo. So see you later, Matt. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.